What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Bino.
I'm Rionyxiel.
And we're here to do the review for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. One of the most anticipated movies of this year.
The end of the entire saga. All 9 movies culminating up to this. So
after 40 years of waiting,
we get the ending we never knew we wanted and don't deserve, I guess. I don't know. Man. This movie was not terrible, but it left more questions than it answered. The first half of this movie was simply patchwork, it felt like.
For me personally, I feel like this whole movie was patchwork. I just felt like when I was watching the movie, I felt like I was watching scenes that they wanted to put in, but they had to hurry up and put in, if you know what I mean. It was just like, oh, scene. It just didn't feel like it flowed.
Like the transition scenes, like he was talking about. They showed a scene, next thing, okay, we go here. Then all next thing they're there. Right. Which I understand that type of transition happens often in all the Star Wars movies, even the 4, 5, and 6 original trilogy from the 80s and stuff. It did that quite often as well. Like we have to go to Mos Eisley, little slide transition. All of a sudden they're outside of Mos Eisley spaceport, stuff like that.
It was something special, but this one it was just like, whatever. Here you go. I think one of the main reasons why this movie wasn't what it should have been was because, again, for one, J.J. Abrams should have really just directed all the movies, for one. Number 2, The Last Jedi, of course, a lot of people didn't really like it as much. They enjoyed it. It was cool, but it wasn't what they wanted. So, of course, they called back J.J. Abrams. Hey, we need you to fix this. And he tried his best, and it just wasn't what we wanted out of this either. It was just, it could have been great, but it wasn't. Even from the start, as you know, Palpatine has come back. Mm-hmm. And, he's the first part of the movie. It was just like, I'm here. And one of the things about that was I kind of wish they would have introduced him in The Last Jedi. I think it would have been, like, maybe have him laugh or something at the end so then we kind of, like, oh, we're excited about it. I just kind of felt like, with this one...
The thing is, they couldn't have done The Last Jedi because I don't think that was the plan where they're going with it. They might have, because they had the whole Snoke clones and all that stuff. Yeah. So they probably added that in. I'm not sure what the finalized thought was of having the Snoke clone with Palpatine. I don't know if originally Snoke was supposed to be a clone of Palpatine, or which they were working on, or Snoke's supposed to be an individual separate from everything, and then they just scrapped the idea entirely.
Which I agree with, but that was the problem. It was just like, oh man, we need to get people back in, so let's just put Palpatine back in there. You could just tell that they did this in a rush. I kind of wish they would have waited maybe a year and a half, maybe they should have waited to maybe they can really put it together better. I don't know, maybe that. I do understand, even with all the Leia scenes, I understand that was from The Last Jedi. It just didn't work.
Yeah, that was all archive footage. It wasn't actual. Well, obviously they can't film when she's not alive anymore. So,
which I feel like they should have just
blended pretty well in that case, though.
Not really. I could tell. Like, it was just.
Well, yes, you can tell it's not there, but the scenes, for what they were originally filmed as, they blended well with the overall movie. But no, it's not going to be as good as if they actually have filmed the scenes as they wanted to.
Which, let me ask you this question: do you think they should have maybe just got a new Leia?
No.
You don't really think that?
No.
You don't think maybe they should have just recast her just to make it kind of flow a little bit better?
No, she's too famous of an actress and too recognizable. So anyone else in there, oh yeah, I'm Princess Leia now, or I'm General General Organa.
But at the same time, it would make the flow of the movie a little bit better. Like you could just tell. I just kind of felt like with something like this is the last.
But you can't just change out the characters like that.
You kind of have to though to make it flow better.
You can kill her off.
Would they?
But no.
But at the same time,
they did kind of kill her off.
To make the movie kind of flow better, I kind of felt like they should have just put a new Leia in there. Because I just feel that way. Because at the end of the day,
that would cause more outcry than anything else, I think.
There's gonna be outcry regardless. It's gonna be outcry regardless, and I just think that to make the movie, because as a movie as a whole, it wasn't that great. Let's just be real. It wasn't really that great, and that's what I'm saying.
It wasn't terrible, but
it wasn't
terrible,
terrible,
not great.
But it wasn't that great, and that's what I'm saying. I would rather you kind of take your time, kind of wait a little bit.
So do you think they should have gone the whole Tarkin approach? Get someone with the things in there and completely CGI her, but have her act new scenes out and have a CGI Leia.
But you can get someone that looks like Leia a little bit. You could have got somebody. Leia's old. It's not like, let's be real. She was old, so you could have just got somebody a little bit older, You know, I mean, you could have did that. No. I'm sorry, but to make the movie, yes, they should have did that because it just did not work. The scenes of them taking Last Jedi, it just, even if they didn't tell me, I could just tell that I could just tell it just wasn't there. It was just bad. It was just really bad for me. The vibe, even the vibe in the theater. To be honest with you, when I went into that theater, because look, we went like a day early before Star Wars actually came out. We always go see early showings. You know, usually, we're
still getting reviews out late.
Yeah, and I was really hoping, to feel excited to have that Star Wars. Ah!
I did when the Star Wars opened and the old instrumental started, the little crawl started happening. Yeah, I got a little jittery. I was like, yes, it's finally we're here for Star Wars.
I mean, yeah, but it should have been. Ah! It was dead silent.
Only one movie I've ever had where they cheered at the beginning of the movie before.
Avengers Endgame, we cheered. Dragon Ball Z Broly, we were cheering. We were cheering.
I'm talking at the beginning of the movie. We didn't cheer in the beginning of Broly. We cheered in the middle of the fight scenes of Broly.
No, I think we cheered at the beginning.
No, I don't remember that.
Okay, well, I know in Avengers Endgame we did. Avengers Endgame, Super Star say, yeah!
Okay, that was the one movie.
Yo, but this one, I mean, literally, like the whole vibe of the movie theater was so silent, and even when Leia came out, there was no yay. It was just okay.
Well, she wasn't the biggest character out there. Well, obviously because she's using archive footage, but they are trying to get away from her and give her the scenes to I can't remember his name right now, Poe, making him the new general.
No, but it's just the fact of her passing away and seeing her on the screen, knowing that she's gone, and we get to see her one more time. I guess maybe I was hoping for more, and I wanted to do that myself, but I just couldn't. I just was so out of the movie a little bit because I was just like, dang man, they could have made this better.
How can you feel that way when it started in like 2 minutes?
I don't know why. I don't know because it's like I wanted to see the movie real bad, but at the same time,
you went into the movie with negative expectations.
No, I didn't have negative expectations for it. I knew I was thinking because with all the there were great trailers, so I'm thinking, oh man, this is gonna be great.
And I'm trying to have no trouble understanding how you go into the theater. Not being excited for the movie with the negative or the not being giddy and excited about the movie because I haven't seen anything about it yet.
Because I really thought in my mind I was going to be really excited, but for some odd reason I just didn't care. Even when the
it hasn't even started yet.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know why. I was just kind of like, why am I not feeling this way? I don't know why. I should have been excited when they go.
I'm a reserved person. I wanted to cheer when the whole Star Wars, the orchestra started going. I was like, yes, but I don't cheer. I didn't even cheer during Endgame when that happened.
I don't know why. It was like I was excited, but at the same time I just didn't. I just was like, man, why do I feel like this movie's not going to be that great?
Because you went in with negative expectations.
I didn't have negative expectations for it.
You say that, but then you're acting is different.
I didn't really have negative expectations. The vibe of the room just wasn't like. I just didn't feel that Star Wars vibe that I thought was
all 12 people in there.
No, there was more than 12 people. There was more. It was like it was like 107 seats. They said that. I don't know. There was like 100 people in there. So yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, is there any part that you found enjoyable about this movie?
Oh, let's see. I mean, of course, the fighting parts were good. I guess.
Any specific scenes?
I did like. There was a scene I did like. There was a scene where, again, spoiler alert. There was a scene where they show a younger version of Leia and Luke, and they are fighting. I guess Leia finally accepts her trying to be a Jedi, but then realizes she didn't want to be a Jedi anymore because I can't remember why. I can't remember why. Because it was her lightsaber, apparently. Mm-hmm. So that was a really cool thing. I really am glad that they made it to where Leia did train as a Jedi at some point in her life. I did like that.
That explained how she was able to
do the Force thing. Okay. Sorry about that. But anyway, that kind of did.
That tied in how she had the ability to use the basics of the Force. She didn't have full Jedi training. She was working on it, then she just gave it up because she had a vision or apprehension.
I wonder if she was. I wonder how old she was then, though, when she started doing it. I wonder if she was like, maybe she had been or had.
Based on the image I saw, not too much older than she was after the original trilogy.
Very interesting.
4, 5, 6.
Very, very interesting.
But one of my favorite scenes was, and I know it's a massive power differential here and all that stuff, was when the whole space battle, they have an armada, whole army of fleet on the planet. I can't remember what the name is called right now.
Are you talking about? Are you talking about when somewhere where Palpatine's at?
Yes.
Okay.
So Palpatine gets back to full power because he's been weakened, and he's slowly trying to regain his power. There's a whole fleet up there. The Rebel fleet comes in and is destroying the ships because they're more maneuverable, that stuff. The fleets, the actual not Death Star, the Star Destroyer fleet can't leave the planet because they need special clearances or whatever else like that.
Yeah.
Whole wonky explanation about that. They can't just go up. I understand there's whole scientific reasons why they can't go up, but they just can't go up. So they're stuck there. So they're trying to fight off these small little fighters and other stuff and surrounding them. So Palpatine looks up, full power.
Oh my!
Blast lightning, and lightning arcs out, destroying everything. I know it's a power differential. I know it's kind of corny. It was just the unlimited power feeling.
But that's what I'm saying.
His eyes are glowing gold.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
I think that was one of those scenes. It was like I had mixed feelings on. It was like, okay, that's kind of cool, but. Dang, really? Like,
so all hope is gone. The Sith has arrived. It's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And then bad stuff happens. I don't like how the movie ended.
It was just weird. Very.
But that whole in that same scene, that whole space battle going on, the fight where the Rey.
What?
Yeah, her name's Rey. Yeah. That didn't sound right for some reason.
Yeah, Rey.
Rey, Kylo Ren, their whole dynamic and them fighting together, fighting with each other, and all that stuff against Palpatine, and it was just I really liked that little bit of scene there. Everything leading up to it was kind of shoddy and a little hard to grasp and get around, but that scene right there was, aside from everything else, a really good scene. I enjoyed watching that part.
How did you feel about the whole? See this is what I'm saying. I wish there was more build up of this. Rey being
None
a Palpatine.
Star Wars hadn't built up like that.
No, well, I mean, no, they could have built something.
That's the whole purpose of the title scroll, the 3-paragraph scroll in the beginning, to explain what's happening in the movie. Every single one of them does that.
Yeah, but there could have been a build up in like the second movie or something like that.
They don't
do that. They should have did that. Cause I just kind of
the other Star Wars movies did that.
Yeah, but with this movie, it was just too much for them to be like, okay, yeah, you're Palpatine's daughter, I'm a granddaughter, you're this, you're that, and it's just kind of like, what? Really? Like it was just like. I mean, it was just, that's how I could tell it was rushed. This was
just like the Luke and Leia is suddenly related, or how Darth Vader is suddenly the father. Star Wars thrives on these secret, massive reveals.
But the father thing, it still was a good build up for Return of the Jedi. Still, even though we know that it was some type of build up thing. Mm-hmm. Even though it was this one, I just kind of felt like
we don't know who her parents are. Her parents are dead. Her parents aren't dead. The entire 3 movies is building up to she has some strange parents and no one knows who they are, or people know but they don't want to tell her who it is. We did have some minor build up in the background of these movies.
I guess in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, it just seemed more fluid. I feel with this one, I guess maybe that's why I feel some type of way. I just didn't feel like there was no type of.
I don't know how I felt about Rey being a Palpatine.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it either.
Weird. Well, I don't have a problem with it, but who? I'm looking at Palpatine. I'm wondering who would choose to be with him enough to create a child.
Okay. Rio, let's be real. Come on now. You know he was young back in the day. I'm pretty sure there was somebody out there when he was younger. You act like Palpatine been this old, crusty looking man for the most of his life. He was a young guy that probably was out here using his little force powers. Oh, hey girl, what's going on? I'm pretty sure he was doing that. I'm pretty sure he got somebody pregnant and he probably went through the same thing. Come on now. I mean, you act like the man is old.
That's the backstory I want to see. I want to see a Palpatine original story. I want to see Darth Plagueis. I want to see.
And that's another question.
Other stuff like that.
That's another question I want to ask you. Would you like to see another more of like a Leia and Luke thing? To where maybe you see Leia training as a Jedi.
No, I'm not interested in that. We already know the outcome of that.
We know the outcome. I don't need
seeing her training to be a Jedi when she's going to quit in the first place anyway.
Which is cool, but I mean, take the Clone Wars. We already know what's going to happen, but it's kind of cool to see the middle of what it inspired all that. You see what I'm saying?
But her training to be a Jedi and then she just quits near the end is not. Unless they're out doing missions as Jedi, I don't see that being that thrilling enough of a story.
I think it would.
But seeing the origin of Palpatine, how he found Darth Plagueis and started becoming a Sith, and maybe the explanation about where his child went to create Rey in the first place.
I mean, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting too. But it'd still be kind of cool to see Leia fight, because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Because there was always this thing of Leia being force sensitive, but we don't really see her fighting. So that's
another thing, though. We know what Leia and Luke look like when they're young.
Yeah. We
don't know what Palpatine looks like, so we can choose any actor that looks somewhat like him as an adult and be able to work. If we choose someone who looks remotely like Carrie Fisher, it's but doesn't, we're going to know his differences. Yeah. And that's just going to put the whole story off. Yeah. Like, they're too famous of actors and actresses to put someone else in the place of them.
That's true.
And call them the same characters.
That's true. That's true. But overall, this movie was average. It was cool. As a movie, you know, as a Star Wars film, cool. You know, they had great ideas.
It was a little on the lower end of the whole trilogy of all Star Wars
very
movies.
Very low end. But overall, movie was okay. It was okay. You know what I'm saying? It's a decent, barely decent ending. I'm gonna say barely decent ending. But overall, it was an ending that was needed, so we can move on and hopefully we get the Old Republic. Because I would love to see more Sith.
I love to see the Sith Empire versus the Galactic Republic.
Yeah, because it gets kind of boring just to see two Sith. Like, it's always been that way.
Skywalker bloodline tearing through the galaxy.
Yeah, it's getting kind of boring. I would love to see more wars between Sith and Jedi.
I want to see my boy Darth Bane.
Yeah, I want to see him fight. I just want to just see it.
I know they're not canon anymore, but
I don't know what's canon anymore. They keep changing everything. Mm-hmm. But
yeah. If you're watching this on my channel, go check out Rubino Entertainment and Kid Rubino. Link down in the description below.
Actually, it's called 90s Rubino now. 90s Rubino.
Oh, you changed the name of it?
Yes, I changed.
Without telling me. Thank you.
My bad. I'm sorry. It's called 90s Rubino. I pretty much do a bunch of, you know, stuff I liked as a kid, manga and stuff like that.
Because he's a 90s child.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, but also check out Rubino Entertainment also.
Yes. And if you're watching this on his channel, go check out my channels. Link down in the description below as well. I'm hoping he has a description.
Yeah.
Rionyxiel, which I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, and that's pretty much it on the channel. And Fearbot Gaming, the gaming channel where we both post content. He's going to be 90s Rubino, I believe, still.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
We play Star Wars, Pokemon, we're trying to. Others, game reviews, gameplay, stuff like that. It's a lot of fun stuff over there.
Yes.
Thank y'all for watching this movie review. Hope to see you in the next one we do. Bye.
Peace out.